All right, good morning, everybody. Today, we're really happy to have Aneliza Del Pinal. I hope I said that okay. CEO at SOURCEWISE. What a privilege. That's amazing. We have had SOURCEWISE a couple of times. It's such a great resource. So now we're going to learn why they are such a great resource. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Aneliza, and we're going to get started. And go ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. And thank you to Skip and Julie for inviting me today. And of course, for having our teams come and speak to you. We want to be a resource to you. So feel free to stop me at any point if you have any questions, or we could leave them all for the end, whatever works best for you. So the title of my presentation today is Connected for Impact, Our Commitment and Our Network. Our agenda is as follows. We're going to talk about area agencies on aging, how we were formed, what is our structure, and specifically the Administration for Community Living, which is the federal oversight arm, the Older Americans Act, the Older Californians Act, how we are funded, our core functions, and how we plan to then deliver the services our community needs through direct or contracted service delivery. I'll discuss a little bit of our fiscal year 24-25 impact, and we'll leave plenty of time for Q&A. So the Administration for Community Living is potentially changing under this new current administration, but as of now, it is still called the Administration for Community Living, and it may turn into the Administration for Children's, Families, and Communities. But what's important to know is that they are the federal agency that's responsible for access to community supports nationwide. And there's an administrator that heads this, that oversees 18 programs that's authorized by 8 statutes, one of which is the Older Americans Act. And the Older Americans Act is incredibly foundational to everything we do as part of President Johnson's Great Society initiative that sought to support older adults in the communities and homes for living independently for as long as possible. So area agencies on aging like SOURCEWISE were formed during the reauthorization in 1973. And we are on the ground networks, which means that we are focused in our planning service area and specifically deliver services that are needed in Santa Clara County for SOURCEWISE. About 7 years later, the Older Californians Act was established, and they are the state unit on aging that the federal arms work through. The California Department of Aging oversees 33 area agencies on aging. In 1996, there was an amendment to the Older Californians Act via the Mello-Granlund Act that developed roles for area agencies on aging. And this is where we see commissions on aging, the senior legislature, and advisory councils made up of consumers that use services, professionals that support our organizations in order to receive feedback about the services and the planning needs. It also established programs that were not within the Older Americans Act. So there were programs in 1996 specifically for the state of California, and these included things like Alzheimer's daycare, aging and disability resource connections, brown bag programs, additional funding for nutrition. And while the authorizing language still remains a statute, in 2008, during the recession, much of that funding went away. We are starting to see a little bit more investment, but it is on a one-time only basis that carries us through 2029 for nutrition services. So in terms of our structure, Health and Human Services manages the dollar and then works through the states. In our case, the California Department of Aging. And the California Department of Aging oversees 33 area agencies on aging, 19 of which are county-based, and they're typically embedded into the social services system. 8 that were created by joint powers agreements, and 6 that are not-for-profit organizations. SOURCEWISE is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So as the Area Agency on Aging, SOURCEWISE has 3 core functions. First and foremost is advocacy at all levels to support policies and resources that promote individual choice. So this past year, we were able to successfully pass AB 1069, sponsored by Baines, which allows area agencies on aging and aging and disability resource connections to become part of the disaster response. So now we're able to very efficiently access shelters, FEMA shelters, to support older adults and the unique needs of individuals with disabilities and their caregivers. As you may know, older adults are often disproportionately affected through fires and disasters, and this will really, I think, be a game changer for our ability to support. And on the policy front, we worked on California Department of Aging 2030 initiative, which is a forward-looking effort to prepare our state and specifically our county for a shift in demographics, knowing that by 2030, individuals age 65 and older will comprise about 25% of our population. So second, core role is planning, and we do this by identifying unmet needs through a coal-led approach. We partner with professionals like yourselves, the community, and look at data to develop what we call the local area plan on aging every 4 years. And every year we come back to ensure that our investments and our focus is in the right place. And lastly, we deliver. So we deliver services either directly or through partnerships in the community. And I'll talk about those in detail as well. So in terms of the area plan on aging is a comprehensive needs assessment that, as I mentioned, is updated every 4 years. And with our and to develop the area plan on aging, first we need to assess Santa Clara County. What's the population? What are the needs? And what are the existing entry points and access to resources? Then we engage in a series of data collection efforts to ensure that we have cross-sectional, comprehensive, and representative data to inform our planning goals and objectives. We look at 2 types of collection efforts. First is primary collection data, and that includes provider surveys, community older adult survey, focus groups, and key stakeholder interviews. And to support that, we have secondary data, which includes government supports, local county reports, other data that we can find either from universities or through different needs assessments to start to understand what are the needs of our community, all of which lead to a comprehensive area plan that is data informed and inclusive of community voices. So our recent data collections are very clear. They reveal very consistent set of unmet needs. Our providers report unmet needs such as housing, transportation, caregiving supports, in-home health care, case management, and social activities. The community echoes this, prioritizing the needs as recreational and social, physical activities, legal services, in-home health care, case management, and general information on how to navigate aging and aging needs, either for ourselves, a family member, or a loved one. And focus groups report barriers. They say it's very difficult to access and to apply for things. And there's a lack of connectedness. So problems with technology, either understanding technology or using it to connect socially. So what this tells us across all data sources, that individuals feel that there's barriers to accessing services, and they need more coordinated, more person-centered supportive services. So one of the things I wanted to highlight for you is the familiarity older adults have. And these are adults 65 and older with, and how they access information. So in terms of identification, Meals on Wheels is the #1 identified program for older adults at 53%, followed by paratransit services that are used by older adults or adults with disabilities at 42%. Then SOURCEWISE as the area agency on aging at 41%. Then it's senior center daily meals, in-home supportive services, the Department of Aging, and adult protective services. And then how individuals are accessing the data. Overall, the internet was the #1 area where older adults access information, followed by word of mouth, a friend, a family, a relative, somebody that they know and trust. Then television or radio, followed by direct mail, a physician, hospital or health center, and then newspapers or magazines. So as part of the third core function that I mentioned, SOURCEWISE does deliver services to respond to the ever-evolving needs of our community. And we have 7 direct service categories that offer 17 different programs. And for the sake of time, I can't go over each and every program, but I'll make sure, Julie, that you get our community brochure that has just a short description on each of the different programs. And those are available in English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Chinese, with a goal to increase knowledge of how to connect with SOURCEWISE. But to go over the categories, first and foremost, nutrition, primarily through SOURCEWISE's home delivered meals in partnership with the county, where SOURCEWISE does all of the client-facing enrollment, assessments, and the county works with a third party to deliver those meals. SOURCEWISE Meals on Wheels program provides homebound adults who are 60 age or older that due to illness or disability can't purchase food or cook for themselves, and don't have anyone to do so for them. Our caregivers program is actually called Caregivers Network, and it provides support for unpaid caregivers who are caregivers of spouses, relatives, or chosen families. And SOURCEWISE supports with information specifically about available resources and eligibility, individualized case management. We have case managers that work directly with the caregiver to support that individual and whatever they need. We offer support groups, and if needed, supplemental respite and other dollar to help provide support. Second is our Public Authority Services by SOURCEWISE, which is a partnership with the county to support their in-home supportive services program. And through this, SOURCEWISE uses technology to match experienced caregivers that are paid by IHSS with consumers to ensure that they receive the care that they need inside the home. Our health services include both social and health-related support services, and these things could be fall prevention programs with an occupational therapist going into the home and assessing it, enhanced case management and community supports through a contract with managed care plans, as well as a multi-senior supportive services program where we connect directly with the older adult and support them with whatever they need in the home and make sure that they have the tools and resources that they require to navigate their health and life options. Our supportive services basically include anything that addresses functional limitations with the goal to maintain health and independence. Specific programs that we offer are our information and awareness program that connect individuals with a customized list of referrals based on their needs. We follow up every 2 to 3 weeks to make sure that those resources are helpful. And if needed, then we would start a case management process. And the second is a direct transportation system in the southernmost part of the county to support older adults to get from door to door to community centers and also to medical appointments if needed or pharmacy pickups. So we've been able to keep that expanded service thanks to multiple grants received outside of the Older Americans Act. We have a workforce development program for older adults age 55 and older to support with training with host agencies, all with the goal to really ensure that they are receiving the skills they need to confidently get back into the workforce with the goal for unsubsidized employment. Our advocacy program, which is called the Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program, is really focused on supporting individuals to navigate the healthcare maze. So if you're entering Medicare for the first time, or even if you're just looking at your options for this year, whether they're drug options or changing providers, they help you with the unbiased information that you need to make that choice for yourself. And annual enrollment has already started. So if you have individuals or you yourself are needing support, please give us a call. And finally, since 2019, we developed our isolation and inclusion program, which houses various iterations. We started off with Google Home speakers during the pandemic, then iPads, and now we're working with the San Jose Library Foundation to actually go into the community center, specifically Roosevelt, and support individuals with whatever they need. So whether it's practical resources or personal resources, maybe folks are curious or just wanting to connect for enrichment purposes, we offer that. One person actually learned how to develop a website so that they could showcase her artwork. Another one is learning how to speak Hebrew. And yet another is writing their book that they've always wanted to do. So I think these pieces are incredibly enriching and important. So we don't do this alone. We know we can't meet everything, and we don't have necessarily the expertise to do everything ourselves. So we partner with a network of grantees in fiscal year 24-25 that included community-based organizations, local government, and federally qualified health centers. About 74% of the funding came from Older Americans Act, but the additional 23 came from either COVID-related dollar or it came from additional investment from the California Department of Aging via one-time only funding. And as you can see, these are the network of grantees that provide services from adult daycare to legal assistance, to dementia care, food services. So any questions? I can stop there for a moment just to see. I know I've given you a lot, and I thought I heard somebody.
Yeah, hi, Aneliza. This is Lynn. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
You want mute? Can't hear you, Lynn.
I'm sorry, we cannot hear you.
Yeah,
Hear me?
Yes,
we
now we can
couldn't
hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So on the prior slide, it looks like there was a dark blue, but I couldn't see if that was dark blue, the one that has the most. Was that Catholic Charities?
No, thank you for asking. That's our partnership with Santa Clara County Senior Nutrition Program. So all the congregate meal sites, also funding for the Meals on Wheels program. As I mentioned, they work directly with the actual food vendor where we do the client facing support.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't tell the shades of blue or a little bit similar whether it was Catholic Charities, but it's great to see that it's partially government funded or majority. Yeah,
we fund the Santa Clara County, so that is Older American Act dollar through SOURCEWISE supporting this work. They do add to the pot, so even if we gave them all $10 million, which we don't, it's more than half. I think the program itself is a lot more expensive than that. So it's a good partnership in which we invest and they invest, which enhances the program.
Mm-hmm. So you
much-
probably have a lot of fundraisers specifically working for SOURCEWISE to,
We do
like
not.
that. Oh, you
Yeah.
don't?
Unfortunately, we are not able to use Older American Act dollar to fundraise. That being said, we do write a lot of grants, but those are all with existing staff and can't be their primary objective.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
How much
That
did
sounds
you,
like a struggle. Okay, sorry.
how much did you receive from COVID grants, and are they still funding that now?
Unfortunately not. All COVID dollar has ended as of September 30th. We had received an extension of the federal government, but now all of that dollar is complete. So now we don't only have Older American Act dollar, but we have about 43% of our total operational dollar is from Older Americans Act. And then and I apologize, Linland's point, we do go out for other grants to supplant because the need is so great. And so about 23 to 24% would be those very focused grant applications. And then the rest, about 21%, are focused on our contractual relationships with managed care. So Santa Clara Family Health Plan and Anthem Blue Cross, where we provide enhanced case management and community supports. So we've expanded to make the pot bigger, but the pot is not, it's not larger, and we don't expect it to be larger from the federal government. So speaking in terms of dollars, although we've seen an increase over the last 10 years or so, if you include inflation, it's actually a decrease. So our purchasing power is much less today than it was 10 years ago due to inflation.
All right, Sandra, you had a quick question?
Yeah, I just wanted her to, if you don't mind, talk a little more about what health services you provide.
Sure. So California went through a transformation of Medi-Cal, which they are calling CalAIM. Through CalAIM, health plans have the ability to work with community-based organizations like SOURCEWISE to essentially pay us to serve their members. So we've always done case management, but they now fund us to work with their clients who have a higher rate of need. You know, maybe they've been institutionalized, maybe they keep coming back to the emergency room and they say, we'll pay you to support them in the home, which means that we do what we always do. We provide intense case management, but because we're getting paid by the health plan, we're able to provide what's called community supports. So a caregiver that has this program under Santa Clara Family Health Plan or Anthem Blue Shield Cross now can receive respite services. Although SOURCEWISE provides respite services, we may have maybe $30,000 to do that, but this health plan might allow us to, double or triple that depending on the need of that individual. Is that helpful to you, Sandra?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and continue because I definitely have a few more slides and I'm sure a lot of questions. So in terms of our impact, SOURCEWISE began in 2022, looking at our goals and objectives. What are we going to do to be ready for this demographic shift? We have known for many years that our population is aging, but we wanted to make sure that we were going to be ready for it. So as I said, the area plan defines the what and the how, and really the goals and objectives help us bridge from the planning to the execution process. So these were the approved goals from our board for 24-25, which include taking an outcome-driven approach. So being consumer driven and relevant. So we created a heat map to understand who was using our services and what zip code and what ethnicities, to really be able to make every dollar count when it counts to outreach and targeted investment. And I'll show you some of those dashboards later on. We also sought to find our Net Promoter Score. So what do our clients value? And we found a Net Promoter Score last year of 72%, which is considered great in terms of that measurement. And that I can't take credit for. That is a direct reflection of our team and their commitment. And then number two, we worked on capacity building. So understanding there are workforce shortages, we need to ensure that our staff stays updated and loyal to SOURCEWISE, because they're so integral to what we do. We know the need is just going to rise throughout the years. And we want to make sure that from the state, as folks are going to the university and studying, that then they're coming back and taking these opportunities. So we're looking at learning management systems, investing in standardization, project management, and Six Sigma learning. We want it to be action-oriented, investing in technology. Right now, we use 3 different legacy systems, which are very outdated. And how do we bridge that gap? We also signed what's called the Data Exchange Agreement very eagerly, which sought to connect social to healthcare systems. So how do the two connect and share information so that if you are being served by a team, it could be a comprehensive understanding of that. So we sought to look at what customer relationship management system we wanted to use. And lastly, we know that Older Americans Act funding is limited and that we need to get more money to do more things for our community. So we engage in diversification of funding. So together with our team, we went out and submitted about 21 grant applications. And I believe we got 20 of those approved, and all different sizes for all different reasons. So in an effort to cultivate and sustain our partnerships, we expanded this past year. It was the first year of emerging Aging and Disability Resource Connection status in partnership with the Silicon Valley Independent Living Center, which really is seeking to integrate aging and disability services so that individuals just call one number and they are more easily integrated into long-term services and support programs that are available in the county. Second, we began a relationship with the Veterans Administration in Palo Alto to deliver veterans-directed care. So veterans can now be served by SOURCEWISE and in a person-centered fashion to receive respite services and really anything that they need as an extension of the VA. We started partnering with managed care organizations, as I mentioned. And we are working with Habitat for Humanity under HUD to expand fall prevention and home modification for our clients. And last but not least, I think I mentioned this already, was the expansion of our digital inclusion programs to include the Older Adult Digital Link program expansion. So we're hoping to be little tech hubs around the county to support individuals so that they don't need to come to us and that we're not serving them virtually, but we can go to the community centers and offer very personalized support as well as group training classes.
Yeah, we just had them a couple of weeks ago talk about the digital inclusion program. Very good.
Great. Christine, then that's wonderful.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have an amazing team. And we're actually really pleased to be invited to speak at the Kaiser Summit, as Kaiser is thinking of how they support their clients. They wanted to see what we were up to. So that was nice.
Great.
So again, in an effort to be consumer driven and relevant, we began engaging in a project to develop heat map services for all of our 17 programs. And because we don't have any funding to do this, we're working with volunteers, which means we're looking at 3 programs each year. So we prepared a few dashboards for you that I'd like to show you. This is highlighting our information awareness program, and in particular District 1, so most southern part of the county. And what you can see here is that between fiscal year 2019 and 2023, there was a spike in need, and that of course correlating to pandemic times. And after 2023 and the end of the major disaster declaration, we do see a decrease. That's the red line. The green line is the additional individuals that called us that year versus the last year. So you see, and I apologize if this is small, but there is an additional almost 1,000 clients from fiscal year 2022 to 2023. So the demand is not slowing down. It's just not heightened. Also, I only have screenshots today, but you can actually click on these areas and look by zip code and what areas are our highest clients and lowest clients. So geographic concentration, we know that San Jose is the largest hub. No surprise there. But Gilroy and Morgan Hill are showing a lot of strong engagement, meaning that either we're doing a great job or we need more targeted investment there. There are areas that have fewer than 200 clients, and now we can look by zip code where those are, and map whether these are considered distressed zip codes or considered vulnerable zip codes, so that we could go in there and do some targeted population. And we're also able to see the emerging needs. So one of the areas that is highlighted, people are calling about and for, is our digital literacy program, our caregiver program, and anything related to do with benefits access. That correlates very well with the area plan on aging. So this is a view of District 5. Now we're moving to our more northern part of the area. And as you can see, the trend is similar in that between fiscal year 2019 and 2023, we see, the height at 2022, and then it starts slowing down. But even with the slowdown of calls, every year we're seeing, a marked increase of new individuals looking for our services. And this heat map is for our family caregiver services. So now we know the where and how many, but also we're able to look at the profile of the individual. What's the race and ethnicity? What's the enrollment? Is it increasing or decreasing? We do see an increased need for caregiver supports, which is not, it's not something that we're surprised by. We know continuously our sandwich generation, individuals who have kids, or even older adults who are supporting older adults, and also maybe taking care of a spouse or an adult child, are really being sandwiched from all places. And so our goal is to support those individuals by expanding and increasing services that make sense for them. So now we get to celebrate and understand what's next for SOURCEWISE. So we've just gotten approval for our fiscal year 25-26 goals and objectives from the SOURCEWISE Board of Directors. We are going to fully implement a new technology platform, which will bring our legacy systems from 3 different systems to 1, meaning now we'll have all the information together in one area. We're going to be developing a midterm community assessment to help us understand what are the effects of the changing environment, federal policies, state policies, differences in budgets. And what does that mean for the supports we need to focus on? Is it benefits? That's one of the things that was highlighted, like benefits programs are difficult. We don't understand the application. So is that a space that we need to be in? And then of course, we will do our area plan on aging public hearing and annual update, which is sponsored by our advisory council to share the results. What were our goals and objectives? Where are we with those goals? Do those align with the needs that are currently being seen? And what, if anything, we need to adjust for that? And lastly, we're looking towards achieving our Aging and Disability Resource Connection designation from the state of California, which should bring additional resources to our community. So in closing, I just want to share that our aging network continues to evolve, and that is shaped by collaboration. We use the data to inform, but we know that our commitment is not only to our clients, but to our partners like you that see older adults every day in your job. So as we look forward, we'd love to understand your feedback and what you might need from us, and really making sure that we continue to engage as we touch lives, but also as you touch the lives of your clients. So I will open it up for any additional questions you may have.
I have a question.
Yes, Carla?
Yes. So the graph that you show about caring by ethnicities, the lower the percentage, what does that mean? Does it mean that families are taking care of their own people?
Not necessarily. This just means that these are the individuals that have reached out to us, not necessarily the individuals that need help. So when I look at this, the first thing I look at doesn't match with the distribution of ethnicities in Santa Clara County. So I know for a fact that Latinos should be higher than that, but I am actually glad that we're seeing the Latino community ask us for support, because most of the time you see that support only provided by family. And so I'm glad to see the awareness. When I look at our Black or African American population, they comprise about 2.5% of older adults in the county, but yet we're seeing double that in terms of caregivers seeking resources. So all this does is tell me who's reaching out to us. And then it tells me if I see Vietnamese or other Asian ethnicities that are very low, but are high in terms of our population, maybe I need to go to that community and share more about what we do.
So that was my following question. Why is it they are not reaching out?
It could be many things. I don't know that I can answer that with specificity, but I could surmise part of it's cultural. Part of it might be a language barrier, because we do have staff that speak all the languages. We actually have Vietnamese. And what I'm interested in is, how does this track over time? So are we actually moving the needle and making sure? We do table at the Vietnamese Community Center for one of our programs. So making sure that whether it's health insurance, counseling, or public authority, that individuals get everything they need when they come to that table.
So you're looking for volunteers to create outreach?
I am always looking for volunteers, Carlos. In fact, I think this work isn't possible without our volunteers. We have about 2,000 volunteers annually that help us with our intergenerational projects. So we'll go and do home beautifications. We have SOURCEWISE ambassador programs that call just for a friendly chat. And a lot of the times it really is somebody just reaching out and being curious about what we do, or maybe they heard something from a friend or a volunteer. But we do have several volunteer opportunities. And I could say right now what we're really looking for it's outside of ambassadors or awareness is a health insurance counseling and advocacy program that supports with a Medicare enrollment. But would love to send you information to this body if interested.
Those
If I could just
sorry,
go ahead.
just one more question. Those that require like a few hours a week, or the ambassador awareness?
It does. So ambassador programs, we ask for a 3-month commitment, 1 hour a week. You get it might be 2 hours a week. Let me double check for you, but essentially you get a list of individuals that are interested in having a phone call, and these are homebound individuals, and you set the times yourselves, and the only thing we ask, there is a process, so you do have to be background checked. There is some training involved, but if the individual needs something outside of what they're receiving, we're hoping that that connection comes back to SOURCEWISE so that then we can deliver the service. There's also volunteer opportunities with doing PPE or home beautification, many other things. The health insurance counseling and advocacy program, it does require a more lengthy process where you have to be state certified. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, we have them on previously too, so
Oh, good.
that should be in the recordings. I just want to interject here. I actually served on the advisory committee for SourceWise for 12 years prior to the pandemic. And the advisory committee are all the volunteers made up of various cities, ethnic groups, political people, and so forth. And there are openings now, but they get very involved in a lot of the work that is being done with SourceWise, a lot of the advocacy. Of course, they're very involved with the area plan, and I learned so much just by being on the board about the senior community and the things that they need, and it was a wonderful experience, and I highly recommend it to anybody that that might want to get a little more in depth with the senior business.
Thank you, Skip. And one thing I didn't say that I want to make sure people are aware is there is no cost for any of our services. While we appreciate donations, our focus is just on the services themselves. And we really believe anyone, regardless of their social or economic ability, deserves our support. We're all aging, and our goal is to preserve dignity in aging and community in aging. And so, whether it's sharing who we are, sending us a referral, calling us yourselves, we're happy to go into your communities. We're happy to serve as support. And yes, I think our advisory council by far is incredibly important because they serve as a mirror to our team to let us know, here's what you need. Here's what we're hearing from this community. Or have you thought about this? They also help and sit in our evaluation committees. Anytime we give funds to other community-based organizations, federally qualified health centers, or local government, they're the ones that actually decide together with the board where the funding goes. My job is to make sure that it's invested in the areas that we need it.
Yeah, you definitely want to flag SourceWise as one of your favorites on your computer, and then put them in the speed dial on your phone.
And follow us. I think we've been trying to do more of a concerted effort, understanding that social media is important to the lives of all of our clients. Let us know how we're doing. Give us a review. I think the more we can share, the better. And John, I saw, yes.
2 questions. I was curious about this 62% of the population uses SourceWise services being above the poverty line. Do you know what the median income is of that group, and maybe some sense of the distribution?
That is a great question. So I can say we have not looked into, this is why we're doing the heat map too, to understand the profile of our clients.
Yeah.
We don't have eligibility requirements for most of our programs, so anyone can use our services. However, we do prioritize individuals that are considered vulnerable, whether by income, ethnicity, or geographic isolation, but no one is ever turned away. In fact, last year we served over 100,000 individuals, and people call us for all types of reasons. So
Okay,
I'm gonna need to get back to you on that, once we have all of our
Yeah.
17 programs, and we could do a little more deep dive into the data.
yeah, okay. Second question, do you provide or refer out to services to help people just get organized financially?
Yes. So we have a database that's searchable online, or you can give us a call, and it's our resource directory. We have about 900 vetted resources that encompass all types of organizations, from real estate to, someone wanting to know where the nearest hair salon is. And so financial resources, financial planning, estate
Yeah.
planning is included in that as well. And we're
Okay,
always looking to enhance. A lot of what we've done in the past, I would say, couple of years, is make sure those resources are up to date. A lot of folks closed down during COVID times and are just reopening. And so we want to make sure that whatever we're sending is accurate. So definitely give us a call,
Okay.
or you can search online at mysourcewise.com.
okay. I may ask if I could reach out to you offline, because I
Sure.
provide those kinds of services and might be helpful if I'm in that directory.
Absolutely. We do go through a vetting process through our information and awareness, but yeah, Skip or Julie can give you my information and I'll make that
Okay.
connection for you.
Okay,
Are you going to be able to provide the stack of slides for the attendees? Can you send them to Julie?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
I think that'd be helpful. Anybody else?
I think I already asked this kind of question, but maybe I missed something. You know that as we age, we don't really believe that we age. We always believe that we are 25. So the point is, maybe that's the reason why people don't reach out, because they are in denial. Is there any study about that?
Yes, I think when we think of older adults, we think of anybody older than us. So there are, I think I mentioned older adult 55 plus for our workforce, and I was like, that's not older, because that's tomorrow for some of us. So technically speaking, the Older Americans Act qualifies as 60 plus. But part of the reason, Carlos, that we changed our name from Council on Aging Silicon Valley to SourceWise was because we serve adults, and we're here to be a trusted resource. We're here to provide people the tools and resources they need to make the best decision for themselves. And so I was very happy to see that one slide that showed that people are now associating SourceWise and recognizing SourceWise at 41%, because when Skip was with us a few years back, was about 35%. So slowly but surely we're getting name recognition. But I think the biggest issue we have is that we're the best kept secret. People don't know about us and don't call. But going back to the slide about how folks get their information is two ways: internet and word of mouth. And so we're really focusing on our online presence, both through social media, as well as making sure that our website has higher search engine optimization. But you're right, people don't consider themselves older. I look at my gray hair all the time and I'm like, oh, you don't look familiar to me. And it's just because we're busy living. And I think that's exactly what we need to be doing, because you start aging the day you're born. And so an older adult or a young adult, we're all in this together. We're all aging at the same time. And, but really good point. I appreciate that.
Yeah, one of the things, whenever the Council on Aging changed the name to SourceWise, they also changed the services from only working with seniors to including those with disabilities too. So it was a broader range now than there used to be.
And Carlos, are you a marketer by chance? Should you and I talk offline? You're on mute.
Sorry, what was your question?
I said, are you in marketing?
I'm a realtor, and my degree is in communication studies from, interpersonal, intercultural, cross-cultural, but also I'm very interested in statistics, and cases like I was asking. What you
Well,
asking?
if you have time, I would love to take you out for coffee and get more insight on your thoughts, because I think this is something that's very important to me, is making sure that the brand and the awareness is out there, and we're continuously doing better. But when I look us up online, we're not in the top 3, and we need to be, because people need our services. So let me know.
I'll be happy. I love coffee.
Okay, great.
Are you buying or I'm buying?
I'm buying.
Happy hour.
So yeah, Julie has my phone number. I can post it right here too,
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry to put you on the spot.
And
No,
I know
I need the attention.
I know everybody here is dying to ask the question, but are just holding back. What do you have to do to be able to get on that magical list of real estate agents that are in your directory?
You actually just need to connect with information and awareness. They have a vetting process. It's been so long. I actually started in information awareness, but I only worked there for 6 months. So I started answering phone calls from people looking for resources. So what I'll do, maybe so that it's a little bit more organized, I'll connect either you or Julie to our director, and then she can let you know what the steps are, how long it typically takes, and answer these types of questions.
Yeah, because we are senior real estate specialists. We're going to be able to do a much better job than just the vanilla realtor that is working with first-time buyers or downsizing or whatever. We specialize in making moves.
Yeah, that'll give us a really good opportunity to convey what it is that we do as seniors real estate specialists, and how we can serve the adult population that SOURCEWISE engages with, and how to support you and your organization with what it is that we do. So you're probably not aware, so we'll give you a lot of this information on exactly what it is that we do. It is not regular real estate. It's very unique and very targeted to the senior demographic for a lot of different reasons. So I look forward to being able to provide that for you and for SOURCEWISE.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that.
And, it makes me think, and I thought about this earlier too, and you might not have like an off the bat idea, but, we do collaborate with a lot of resources in the area, and Habitat for Humanity does collaborate with our local associations, the Santa Clara County Association of Realtors and such. And so we're going to further that, especially with the SRES, the seniors real estate, because the need is just becoming larger and larger. And Habitat for Humanity probably doesn't know about us. So we'll work to fix that.
Okay, good. Yes. And I would say, as you're thinking of how things are interconnected, because you're speaking to folks who live at home, let us know how we can support you. There's some times that I get phone calls, in particular from one individual that is starting like a little village type model in their own communities, and want us to come and just give ideas.
We do have, we do have alignment for that with, first of all, with Avenidas, local.
Oh, yes.
And then for the Village to Village network. And then part of that, part of our mission statement from SRES is aging in place and aging in the right place. And so we endeavor to create a safe and secure place for people in their homes as they are. If that's not a possibility going forward, then we're there to help move forward on different decisions. So, and we also align with the National Aging in Place Council. So a lot of that is probably new information for you as to what it is that we do. So I'm looking forward to yeah, collaborating more so and in the resources. So the information and awareness is probably going to be our next conversation.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you.
Hi, Julie. I do have one question.
Yeah.
Does she only have offices in California, or is there anything out east?
That's a great question. So we're actually a national network of over 600 area agencies on aging, 80,000 volunteers, and about 20,000 service providers. So you
Okay.
can either give us a call and we'll connect you, or I think there is an 800 number, but just give us a call and we'll connect you to the area agency on aging that is appropriate out of state. We actually work with a lot of out-of-state individuals who care for people living in Santa Clara County.
You can also Google area agency and aging for your locale and to come up with it.
Perfect. You know, because I'm out in New York, and services sounds interesting, so I'm interested in taking a look at it. Thanks.
Tiffany, did you have a question?
No.
Hey, Barbara, did you have a question?
Do, honey. Hi, it's good to see you, and thanks again.
It's good to see your forehead. Fix your camera. There.
That's what they call a headshot.
I thought
Yeah, great to see you. So, wonderful presentation. I'm sorry I came in late. I was on another legal webinar, but I do have a question. How do you address, you have a lot of volunteers that you work with. Do you ever have any issues with theft, with elder abuse, with how do you vet your volunteers? Because it does happen, especially if elders are in dementia or they're kind of confused. They don't really have someone there that is totally trustworthy and won't take advantage sometimes. So how do you prevent that, or what issues have, if any, have come up in your experience?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking, Barbara. So absolutely, that's something that we're very careful with. And so in terms of our volunteers, most work with volunteers with staff present if they're going to be out in the community, or even if they're going to be in the home. So we don't use volunteers for any kind of dementia related. That's always with staff. We also background check all of our volunteers. They go through training. You know, I want to say, knock on wood, nothing in the past 5 years has come up. Because those volunteers will never have access to sensitive information. So even if they're making a phone call, there are very strict rules about the things that they can or can't engage in conversation. So if somebody has a question about something financial, they always revert back to SOURCEWISE. And we also have our volunteer coordinators that will check in with our clients to see how everything is going. You're right to question, because we want to be incredibly careful. And scammers are getting sophisticated. It's not individuals necessarily with some kind of capacity issue. It's also, I can't tell you how many times my team gets text messages from me saying, hey, I need you right away to buy something. My credit card's not working. Or they'll copy my email almost exactly with like one letter exception. And so I think it takes all of us. Unfortunately, we have not come across an issue.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping we don't. Fingers crossed.
Thank you so much. I'm running to another meeting. Just super quick, I serve as the stake primary president in my church, which involve our children. Are there volunteer opportunities for children with SourceWise?
As of right now, I think we're doing high school aged. If they're, we do work with children with disabilities, but they usually will come to our location with a teacher, and they'll help us with doing cards for the holidays or, you know, things of that nature. We would love and can absolutely coordinate. And,
Okay.
you know, the cards are beautiful and they're such nice sentiment, and to get it from a 5-year-old, it's always sweet. But the volunteers that usually work with us are volunteers that are a little bit older for our activities. And I will put a shout out that SourceWise is having a turkey drive in Mission College. And we are definitely looking for volunteers for that day. We're partnering with Martha's Kitchen and Loaves and Fishes and Senator Wahab's office to deliver 300 turkeys to anyone in Santa Clara County, and that will come with a bag of groceries to make a meal at home. And it's a drive-through event on November 22nd. So if any of you are interested in a volunteer shift, that would be a fun one, I think. And it's the first one. We're hoping it will continue annually, but
What day of
that's
the week
the
is
good
that? I'm gonna look.
Thank you.
Can you put that information in the chat, please?
Sure. We don't even have our flyers ready, but we'll do it right.
Well, oh, November 22nd, it's a Saturday. Cool. Okay. We could have a whole team there.
Oh,
Can
great.
you put your
Yeah.
information in the chat too, please?
Carlos?
Yeah, are you,
Contact information in the
can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you in connection with religion places such as churches?
Yes, so we work a lot with Catholic Charities, and then really through trusted resources. I mean, I can tell you, my mom is the head of her church unofficially. So she'll be like, Mija, we need A, B, and C. And I'm like, Mom, you're not in our county, or you have to call San Mateo. But a lot of folks, we find a trusted individual, and then that trusted individual will share information. And we're also happy to do presentations as well. Or resource fairs. Invite us to your resource fairs. We're happy to be there as well.
People that go to college, babysit.
Oh, my information, yes.
It's on the flyer. Always on the flyer.
There we go.
It's on this week's flyer. It'll be on next week's flyer. And then you can always go to SourceWise.
My SourceWise.
Go ahead, Skip. Yeah,
MySourceWise.com.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah, here. Barbara wants hers back. Okay.
And in Alameda County, the Area Agency on Aging is run by the county. So they do a lot of work through community-based organizations. But I can get you their contact information, Ronaldo. And I live in Alameda County too.
Yeah, thank you, Aneliza.
You're welcome.
And you can always Google it too.
I'm sorry?
You can always Google it.
I think it's better to chat GPT.
I provide full service. There you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I mean it. Give me a call, send me an email, whatever it is that you need. And Carlos, I was looking for your information in the chat, but I'll just get it from Julie.
It's there in the chat.
Oh, okay. I must have missed it then.
I think it's further up.
Ah, I see it now. Great. Thank you.
Thank you for following up.
My pleasure. And thank you to all of you for everything that you do. And thank you to Julie again and Skip for inviting me. And Skip, thank you for all the years of service. I really appreciate it. I started in this role, I want to say 6 years ago, and Skip was one of our advisory council members that it was always so easy to work with. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate having you here today, and we got a lot of good information. And
Good. Well,
I'm hoping everybody will follow up and continue using the services and maybe even doing some volunteer work for you then too. Next week, we're going to have a presentation on depression and isolation, and you don't have to be depressed or isolated to join, but we're going to learn all about it. And Julie, you have anything to add?
Well, Carlos, quickly, you had a tidbit there.
Yeah, Aneliza, what is the meaning of your name? Aneliza?
it's my mom's name, first name and middle name combined. So her name is Aneliza and my name's Aneliza. My understanding is that my grandfather named her after Beethoven's symphony for Elise, and that's where it came from.
Pure
Okay.
Elise.
I looked it up.
That.
I looked it up.
Oh, you know it?
I looked it up before you. I asked. I said,
okay.
brings grace.
Aw. Well, I hope to live up to that.
Well, I echo Skip. We really appreciate you being here. We hope we have brought some new information for you as well. Really looking forward to our collaboration in the future. And I think that's it for now. Does anybody else have anything to say?
No.
Thank you, Aneliza. That was great.
You're
Awesome.
welcome. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
We're gonna let you go, Anelisa. If you
Thank
guys
you.
want to stay for a minute, we can hack. Yeah, I mean not hack, yak. We can yak.
Chat.
Yak. Yeah. Hi, Yvonne. I didn't get to say hi earlier. And Carol. I gotta do my romper room here. You say hi to Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
And the other Barbara. There's the other Barbara. All right. Well, that was a lot of new information as well from Anelisa from SOURCEWISE. And who knew? Who knew, right? It's a brand new resource for us to be able to take to our friends, families, and clients. And, she didn't say this, but for those of us, we can be working with families that are, in the middle of downtown San Jose or up in the foothills of Saratoga. The services are available for everybody and needed by everybody. Especially sometimes we might find families, especially with our demographic, the senior homeowner that's living in their home alone, their 5,000 square foot home in Almaden Valley by themselves. Right, Barbara? We have those clients. And they just live there and they don't even know what they don't know. And then some challenge comes up, and that's what we need to be prepared for and helpful for. And we're going to start to get a better consumer and homeowner awareness of that's what we do and what we can bring to them. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's a great idea. I know I worked with one of my friends selling her home in Country Club, Evergreen. And the biggest challenge, there were a couple big challenges. I think we need to be really patient in the process with our seniors. She needed it. First of all, it was an overwhelming task, 25 years of stuff to go through. Secondly, there was a big emotional component because she and her husband, her late husband, had built that home, all their memories, everything in that home. And she just said to me, we've been friends for 40 years, but she just said to me, Barbara, I need to go slow. Otherwise, it's going to break my heart. So I think it's important for us to work with people in their time frame, not in our time frame.
Exactly.
even one of my clients now, he's having such a hard time. It's been 2-year process, and finally he's motivated to get his house on the market in a few weeks and going through everything. But there was a lot of emotional attachment to that home. That was
Yeah.
where his late wife, you know, all those memories, everything. And there's still some grief going on, even though it's been a number of years. So I'm not sure. I think it would be helpful to have, and maybe you have them, but a list of questions that we can use to elicit, I almost said hallucinate. Senior moment. Anyway, that we can elicit from them, you know, where they are emotionally, what their true needs are, and how we can work with them without really stressing them out. But, you know, find their comfort level. And of course they need to know what the market's like. I mean, my client was supposed to be on the market in April. Markets changed, but he just couldn't move any faster. So that's the way it goes. I mean, he's okay with it getting on the market in November. So do we have a list of questions?
Well, that's interesting that you just mentioned that, because one of our colleagues in our national group, they just published a book about and I'll put it in the bulletin and I'll send out the information, the link. It's the hard conversations. That's not exactly the title, but that's what it is. And she just put it out. We've just been discussing it, and that is exactly what we need to learn. So I'll send that out. There's other resources for that as well, and we could probably make a whole topic on that.
Could I add something, Julie?
Yeah,
The
go ahead,
presentation I
Micheline.
had
Yeah.
September 27th, that's exactly what Lisa Mark did. She is a CFO, and was past president of NAPA, and she was wonderful.
Who was
Rolando
that? Say
was
that
there.
again.
That was downsizing, right sizing. And we went over everything. It was 2 hours, and I couldn't believe people were that attached and would stay that long. Ronaldo was there, and we gave out a book raffle. In fact, one of the raffles was that book that you had suggested, Decluttering at the Speed of Life by Dana, I think.
By
White.
Dana K. White, yeah.
Yeah, Dana White.
Yeah.
So we gave those out, the raffle, and we're continuing the conversation. She enjoyed it so much herself. Now, it was 2 hours. I had a photographer there, so we videographed it, and we had it on Zoom. So I'm taking snippets, because there's no way nobody, I don't think, is going to watch for 2 hours, and put it on posting. That's what I'm working on this last quarter, putting little snippets on my website so people can see what she does. And the fact that it's really, I learned a lot myself, and she's helped me in the process. She always asks you, what's your pain point? And one of the things I picked up, which I thought was invaluable, space is more expensive than stuff. And it's our stuff that keep us stuck in a certain place. You know, like this lady Barbara's talking about, not getting, and I can certainly understand that. And that's what she goes over, because even using me as an example, there were things in my office that I had a hard time with. Shall I keep it? Shall I take it away? And I asked Lisa in a conversation, I said, is there such a thing as relapsing? She said, it's inevitable, because you're always accumulating. It is inevitable. So I didn't have to feel bad that I got stuck and went backwards. But every time I have a decision to make, I say, what would Lisa do? And I go back to some of the points that she taught me. So I would highly recommend her. And she's qualified to do what she does, because she keeps up with all the latest trends and things that are going on. Because sometimes there's mental issues that are involved, and you don't want to step on somebody if they're going through a grieving process, regardless of how long it takes. So she is one that I would throw out as a future. In fact, she's going to come back. She asked me, she enjoyed it so much. She wants to come back in January. So we're going to do it again. And this does not have to be for seniors. It could be for the whole family.
It's for everybody.
McLennan, I've been trying to get somebody to speak about this for our Tuesday group. If you could forward her information,
I surely will.
See if she can.
Okay, she will do it.
Thanks.
Great, thank you. Oh, while I have the spotlight, you know, I want to thank you for your contribution, Skip. That was a wonderful event, Walford Alzheimer's, and the fact that it is going to be going on to the end of the year. So I'm continuing to take contributions. So
Good
Oh,
for
for the
you.
walk for
Good for
walk
you.
for Alzheimer's.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a worthy cause, that's for sure.
Very, very much.
Yeah. That was a fun event.
I was a volunteer for last weekend on the Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Talk to end Alzheimer's.
Yes.
It was great. It's so much energy and so much joy.
Yes, it was fun. It was really fun. And I kept my little, I don't know what they call those little spinning things, those flowers.
Oh, I put mine in my front yard. Everybody loves it.
It's great. It was really neat. I love it.
Hey, Carlos, real quickly, you want to give a success report for your webinar this last week?
Well, I asked some people like you, Julie, to join me. So the more realtors I would get, the more people would come for the webinar. We actually got about 19 people, but only 9 show up and 3 log out later on. But nevertheless, I reach out to those people who came in, and except you, Julie, because you are Julie. So, but I sent out some emails, and I have no response yet. But I have some phone numbers, so I can reach out to them and see what is going on.
So your webinar that you hosted for you and your database was on 1031 exchange and strategies with Scott Varney. So if and it was a really good, successful webinar. And Scott is a really good resource to have for that. And then that is something that you could do like twice a year, even quarterly. And the more often you do it, the higher your database has awareness of it and the more you get attendance. But the main thing is now you have Scott Varney in your pocket of resources for you and your clients.
And I have 5 other more people who are doing webinars with me, and my intention is to do webinars every day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just a little ambitious, are we?
A lot of work.
All right. Well, somebody's getting traction on that. Go ahead.
All I have to do is send out, emails and face, and social media, and it's entertaining, and put somebody else to work. I don't have to do it. They have to do it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Because they do. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to give you a heads up that I'm probably going to be doing the next SRES class for CAR in January. They haven't given me a date yet, which is why I haven't said anything. But tentatively, and I want to emphasize tentatively, I'm going to be doing the class with SCORE February 24th and 25th. They'll both be live Zoom classes. And when we get the information and the details, I'll let you know. Don't forget that with, at least with CAR, and I made the suggestion to Jody for SCORE, that SRES realtors, if you already have your designation and it is active, you can get you can take the course for $99 as a refresher or an update. And we've had a lot of people do that. So if you got your SRES like 10 years ago, or, you want to get it a little more current, this would be the way to do it.
And now that we have some tentative dates, but to be confirmed pretty quickly, everybody that can go out and start talking to all their colleagues that are not yet SRES and get them signed up. Get them signed up. Get them signed up. Okay.
Billy, is there any other times that the SRES designation can be had. And I don't know if I see it's only offered a couple times a year, but is there
Well,
like an
they have,
online?
they
If you
have
go
the,
on,
learn
if you go
on
on
my,
the national
yeah,
website, they have
yeah,
a calendar for all over the country, both
yeah.
in person and also on
Come
Zoom.
on.
But they also have Learn My Way online anytime.
Well, that's CAR, not NAR. Learn
Yeah,
My Way is
that's
the
CAR,
CAR.
yeah, yeah,
Well, CAR only offers it a few times, but NAR, if you look at all over the country, there's lots of classes all over the place, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
can kind of pick and choose on them.
yeah.
So my
But
question then would be if it's presented outside of California, um, would the courses taught here be more local, appropriate?
I
Or
seem to use more local on mine just because most of the people that are usually on the call are local Bay Area or local California. But I do try to expand it for those that aren't. And each individual teacher has a different way of doing it. So I can't speak for all the courses, but they're pretty uniform in the content. And there's not a whole lot of local stuff in the national course. And that's why I supersize the course to give you more information and introduce things such as SourceWise in it.
right. Okay, thank you.
Great class too.
It was okay.
Really,
All right,
used to have all my
everybody. Okay,
notes.
one more quick thing. Thursday, November 6th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Senior Living Community Showcase that we're having at the Campbell Community Center. Getting ready to send out the details. Jody and I are figuring that out, sponsored by SCORE and SRES. So I'll send you the hard details as soon as I have them. But if you just save the date, save the date.
What's the date? What is the date?
November 6th,
November
Thursday,
6th.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Campbell Community Center.
And where do we register for that?
So that I'm gonna put it up on Eventbrite eventually.
Well,
Okay.
it'll be through SCORE. You're going to register through SCORE because it's their event.
Well, it's a consumer-facing event, so we're gonna put it on Eventbrite. So we're
So I don't have to be a
Jody and I
member.
are figuring that out. Go ahead, Barbara.
I'm not a member of SCORE. I'm a member of Silvar.
That's okay.
So
That's okay.
I can still attend.
Oh, no,
No,
you
look
can't
at-
come.
It's a-
No, you can't. No,
It's
way.
I-
Sorry.
No,
Can't do
we're
it. No.
sponsoring it, but we're bringing this to the community,
Oh,
to
yeah, that's right.
homeowners,
Yeah.
consumer
right.
facing. We got to get in front of some people.
I
Can
think
I
it's
ask
great.
question?
I'm looking forward to that. Now, will there be lunch?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have food.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Ah,
I'm definitely coming.
question, Julie, since you
Yeah, go
talked
ahead.
about consumer facing, the
Yep.
deal I asked you about for my client, the RCE and the other one, RAL.
The
because this-
RCFE, and RCFE,
RCFE, I don't know what they
Residential
stand
care.
for.
residential care facility for the elderly, state license.
Yeah. Okay. I have somebody who's doing that already, but this one I mentioned to you, she has a beautiful home and she doesn't want to get rid of it at this point. I don't blame her, but that would be something for her to do, and do like a, what do you call it? Golden Girls. Everybody has their own individual room.
Yeah.
They get together in the
Yeah,
areas.
Well,
and
be aware there's a lot of legal problems that go along with RCFE too, and you need to be able to comply with all that. So, check it out before you do it.
But if she does it as a owner of the space and not necessarily runs it herself, for somebody who wants to rent from her to accommodate their clients.
yeah.
Well,
That's
then that's not an RCFE then. That's just home sharing. And
No.
there's a difference. Yeah.
it would-
The
So if you own you can be the owner of the real estate and lease it out to an RCFE. That's a revenue
Exactly.
source.
That's what I'm
So
thinking
that's
about for
one
revenue.
option. There's all kinds of ways, and that's what I'm teaching Michelin about right now. And we'll do some more offline. And in fact, we're going to have a whole meeting. We'll have a whole training just specifically about that, because it's
Right.
a very, very big nutshell. Because Skip is right. There, you have to be very specific.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna jump off, folks. I'll see you next week.
All right, everybody, have
Thank
a great
you.
week.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Thank you
you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Bye.
awesome.